Okay. 6 people waiting. We should be starting now. So I hope those waiting will be live. Yeah, 7 people watching. So welcome. 1:30 kickoff for the Dutch Eredivisie, last day of the season. Hi, Gordon. Nice to see you. Everything okay? Auditory, Gordon? You can hear me okay? Hi, Ashley. You can hear me okay? We had a little problem with the levels for the microphone yesterday. I'm using the microphone for the actual computer. We've got a possible play early on. Arca Gdynia, side I really like, but they've already taken the lead. Norwich and Leeds, well, toss a coin basically. High profile, lots of nerves, but this is what interests me. I was waiting for the in-play stats, and it looks as if first half 1.36 favourite Ghent are looking as if they are up for it. This is just one of my bots doing quite well at the moment, laying the second favourites in the place market. I'm just experimenting, but it's really working out well at the moment. But this is the dogs. We're going to head off to our old pals. That's one of them. Placing automatic bets for me, just a 10p stakes at the moment. But if it is profitable, I will be looking at increasing my stakes and then retiring to Thailand, where I am already. That's the plan. I've got a new follower on Twitter, by the way, for the Football Trading Profits on Twitter. It's one Elon Musk. He's actually following me because I did take the mickey out of his electric vehicles, but I think he took it the wrong way as a compliment. So, friends of the rich and famous. And I got a message from Andrew Tate yesterday as well, the complete and utter nut job in Romania. I took the mickey out of him, and he's replied as well. So, friend of the rich and famous. Got a like from Martin Clunes as well the other day, and Justin Thomas in the PGA. So, yeah, lifestyles of the rich and famous, me. This is a match we're interested in, Ghent and Odd Heavily Leuven. I just like the reaction. So it's going to be usual stakes. And if you look at over 1.5 goals, it's indicating this is half time, by the way. So that in itself is a good indicator of what we should be expecting second half from Ghent. I would prefer the +1 market, given it's the Jupiler League, but it's likely to be, I would say, 1.45, 1.5, something like that for the +1. There we go, perfect. I'm going to take that myself. Just a little trepidatious about going into the match odds, but I'll show you the match odds in the simulator. And Volendam have scored first against FC Twente. That's an obvious play, or is it? Don't forget, it's the last day of the season in the Eredivisie.
Goal. BK Hacken Kalmar FF is 0-1.
So let's have a look. I'm going to have to prepare my Eredivisie as well. Let's just get this. This was a recent one, Bochum. Let's go to Ghent, and I'll just show you. If you wanted to go look for the bigger win, you go match odds. So you for the technique.
Goal.
Laying over
BK
1.5
Hacken
goals.
Kalmar FF is 0-1.
Lay over 1.5 goals, and this has changed because I was having problems yesterday in Brighton match because it kept flitting between Brighton and Newcastle. So I've got it back on highest odds. Lay over 1.5 goals to cover the amount of money you want to play with, which will be 40 quid. And if we go into the match odds market, let's get this placed. Go to the match odds market, you've got £39.20 to work with. You divide that by 2, that's £19.60. And don't forget to untick, if you're using Fairbot, your profit box. I was using that yesterday. £19.60 liability as well. We just want to have a little bit on the draw in case this all goes pear-shaped. So back in Ghent at 2.8, not bad for a 1.3 favourite with those kind of in-play stats. There is a 12-second gap, so just be a little wary about that. So every Dutch scoreline today, we're going to be investigating to see whether there's motivation. Going to lay Odd Leuven at 2.92 as well. This will get you a better return if Ghent can oblige, preferably scoring before the hour mark. You can see there'll be a little loss on the draw, £9.39. So if you're willing to take that hit, if you get a late equaliser, that's why I prefer +1. If this is 0-1 for a long while, +1, they get a late equaliser, I will profit more in the +1 market. But this gives you a greater return if the 1.3 favourites will actually oblige. Just want to make sure that you can all hear me okay. Nice to see you, Chris. The volume is very low. Okay. So we had this problem yesterday, Chris. Let me just try it again. I don't know what to do about the volume. Let me just solve this. I've changed all of this. So I'll just up this and do let me know, Chris, if it improves. So I've done all of that at the very height. I'm in Pattaya at the moment. My microphone is in Hua Hin. So that's the reason I've not got a microphone on. But please let me know, Chris, if this improves the sound. Hi, Paul. Hi, Kevin. Thank you very much, Chris. And thanks for letting me know, because otherwise I'd just be talking away and you wouldn't be able to hear me. So thank you very much for letting me know there, Chris. That's excellent. Thank you, Ashley. Brilliant. So it's just, I'm getting used to this. Streamlabs, I'm not a techie. This is a great find, by the way. It's completely free, so it keeps the costs down. So thank you very much. So Ghent and Leuven would be the first call of the day. So let me just pass that on to Telegrammers. And don't forget to investigate your Dutch Eredivisie. So you have to go to soccer24.com. I'll just pass this message on. Good afternoon, live stream on now at 1:30. Ghent and Leuven in the Belgian Jupiler League. I've laid over 1.5 goals. You've got two options. Back Ghent +1, that covers the draw. Or if you want a bigger profit for the 1.3 pre-match favourites, go to the match odds. Half stake back Ghent, half stake as liability, lay Leuven. If you want to see how it's actually done, come to youtube.com/@football trading profits. And we've got an equaliser already for FC Twente, penalty for Heerenveen. So it's the last day of the season in the Dutch Eredivisie. We'll be looking on these with keenness. As you can see, we need to make sure, that's why I did it in the research, you've got to make sure you're not playing dead rubbers, okay? If you do play dead rubbers, don't blame me if you're going to lose money, all right? Let's retain our discipline. Dead rubbers are dead rubbers for a reason. The season's over. It's just a celebration, really, in front of the fans. So I'm just going to narrow down my focus on Football 24 to matches of interest. So we'll take China out of the equation. So we've got a 20 equaliser already. So we've missed that opportunity, if indeed there was an opportunity there. So get football trading profits up. I've just had a quick précis at the top for you.
Goal. BK Hacken Kalmar FF is 1-1.
Right, I'm just trying to get Football 24 working for me. Oh, come on. It just keeps reverting back. It's an absolute pain in the bleep, this website, but it's the best one out there. I'll just get a stand for my phone. Excuse me for a sec. Right. Just got to make sure I can see the scores on the Diana doors. So let me just get the telephone so I can see it fully. And this stand is a bit useless as well, probably made in China. Yeah, there we go. So we do need to make sure that we're up to date with the scores as they come in. Now, moving down to the Dutch Eredivisie, Twente and AZ Alkmaar fighting it out for the remaining Champions League place. So, had I known that, we could have jumped on that Volendam lead, because Volendam are pants, basically. And with a 1.06 shot like Twente, half-time market would have been the key. AZ Alkmaar likely fight it out for the remaining Champions League place. Ideally, a win for Twente to make third place theirs. Ajax and NEC Nijmegen fighting out for the sole European League place. A win guarantees it for Ajax. Excelsior and RKC Waalwijk fighting it out to get out of that final relegation place. So those are the matches to fixate on. Let's not get too caught up with dead rubbers. But you can see for yourself as the goals come in. Make a check using the live standings for the final days of the season. We'll be doing this soon for the elite leagues, won't we? But it's already done and dusted, isn't it? Unless Luton win 12-0 or something on the final day. So we're looking at the top here. Excelsior. This already accounts for the draw, okay? So you move from 26 to 27 points. A win today will take them to 29. The goal difference is in Waalwijk's favour. While Waalwijk are still drawing, they might lose. So that might drop a point down. So the squabble is between these two. Heracles can't be caught, which is an excellent news for Heracles, newly promoted last season after utter dominance with Pek Zwolle in the Dutch Eredivisie. Now looking up here, Heerenveen are leading 1-0, so obviously they can't break in to the Conference League playoffs. They can't, because this is the maximum points that they can get. Sparta, safe. Go Ahead Eagles, safe. Utrecht, safe. But NEC Nijmegen and Ajax, as I said, fighting it out for this Europa League place. So that's a match of interest. If you want to look at already done matches, go to standings and you'll see the arrows which indicate business has been concluded. PSV and Feyenoord. So Twente are battling it out with AZ, as I've already said in footballtradingprofits.com's daily research. So we've got Twente, AZ, Ajax, NEC Nijmegen. Utrecht, 49 plus 3 is 52. But look at the huge gap there in the goal difference. So I think Utrecht are out of it. They can't be caught at all. So that's what I'm saying. Don't be tempted in with dead rubbers. Heerenveen and Vitesse Arnhem, for instance. You can check individually as the goals come in to get confirmation that you don't want to ideally be playing this match. Okay? Where are Heerenveen? Where are Vitesse? Heerenveen can't catch Sparta. Vitesse are done. 18-point deduction. Ouch. I was wondering why they were so poor this season. 18-point deduction. I wonder what happened there. Goodness me. So I hope everything's okay and you can still see and hear me okay. Yeah, you can. That's great. So we're just waiting for a possible Ghent equaliser. I've assumed that they're going to continue second half as they did first. 50 dangerous attacks to 11 is pretty good going. Norwich and Leeds. Well, let's have a look. I don't know if this is first or second leg or if this is a semi-final. You can tell it's nervy, that's for sure. It's the Championship playoffs. Now, you might want to attack this 0-0 late on because the winner could take it all. It's the first leg, so it looks as if there's going to be a two-legged affair. But certainly, get a goal. Get a goal, and we could be in for an excellent ending. Or prime position for the second leg. So let's have a look at Leeds and Norwich. You want to lay the draw as late as possible. Remember, time pressure. Time pressure. We want to really pressure these sides because they're running out of time if they can just get that goal. What I'm going to do here is what I call drip.
This market has been suspended.
That's the Ghent match, I hope. We can see a 1-1. That would be very nice indeed. Just waiting for confirmation of that. So 1.25, I will be laying the draw. Hugely motivated, both teams, of course, but they're also motivated not to concede. But the onus really is on Norwich to use home advantage here. So later win a fiver, down to 1.19. Again, to win £5. It's not liability, it's backers' stake. We move on down to 1.14. These are just arbitrary numbers I've picked out, giving a decent enough gap as we move on down towards 1.01. 1.09, you can up your stake now because your liability will still remain under a quid. So the lower down we go, the more money we will make. That's St. Pauli leading 2-0. Quite obvious, that one. They were bound to win. When they're odds on, they've been excellent this season. But arguably, nothing to play for. I think it's done and dusted there. 1.06 to win 16 quid. So the ideal for us is to get all of these matched and then for there to be a very, very late goal. But this looks a typically nervy old affair, doesn't it? It's a typical Championship playoff. I don't like the look of Southampton this season. They've been the worst of the newly relegated sides of the Championship. They need to get Matt Le Tissier up and fit with Benali at the back. And maybe bring back Alan Shearer, used to be a Saint. That could help them out. Man United look to be in a spot of bother against the top three. If you've looked at their form this season against the top two, they've conceded at least 3 goals in each match. That's why the Arsenal are such short odds today. Man United are all over the shop. They really are. I don't know how Den Haag got the job, and Liverpool had better be taking notes. Get a manager from a Mickey Mouse league, the Eredivisie. May not be suited to the Premier League. So we're waiting patiently for Ghent to get an equaliser. I like that. 1 shot on 6 off and 7 corners, 53 dangerous attacks to 11. So I'm hopeful with 4 consecutive wins, scoring 7 goals in the last 2 matches. Indeed, scoring 12 goals in the last 4 matches, which is excellent. Average of 3 a game. OH Leuven did beat Standard Liège 3-1, but that was with home advantage. They did lose to Mechelen 3-0. So I remain hopeful. They did beat Ghent, by the way, on the 14th of April. So that's a slight negative. Indeed, they've done the double in the last 2 head-to-heads. No, sorry, Ghent won 4-0 in the last one. But the head-to-heads are looking good. What I like to see is the head-to-heads mirroring the market's pre-match conclusion. Chinese Super League, I've only got this one up because Zhejiang, 16 shots off target. Now, while it's quietish, you can investigate the league. Soccerstats.com. And we'll have a look at the Chinese Super League. So you have to have a look under Search League. If this will work, it's still loading, I'm afraid. So it's slower than Teddy Sheringham, this website. But maybe the Chinese Super League is here, so we can get to this stage straight away. So let's go that way. Guangzhou against Zhejiang. So it might have an internet issue. What I'll do, I don't have, yeah, I'll take it off. Excuse me, it covers my identity. That might just speed things up a little bit. So Guangzhou and Zhejiang, if you work your way down, look for view stats and matches for both teams. Just want to see why or if we can justify a lay the draw second half, but I don't like these secondary leagues. They're not the best in the world. So do tread very warily with them. So work our way down. It's a little early in the season as well, and when you've got a side with 5 defeats in the last 7 matches, including 3 consecutive away defeats, and you want me to back them today, well, they failed to score in the last 3 away matches as well. 3 defeats and a draw for Guangzhou in the last 4. It's got the feeling to me of a match which is a little early in the season, But there's not been a 0-0 for Guangzhou this season. There has been one for Zhejiang against Shanghai Port, which are one of the big guns in the Chinese Super League. I don't know if they've stopped buying up major players on the cusp of retirement. Conceded in the last 8, conceded in the last 5. It's always good news. And scoring 2+ goals in the last 3 at home is good news as well. But they're not even favourite today, the home side. So it looks as if there's just a little bit of lack of form. As you can see, a huge gap in form against 5th to 13th away from home. And some gaps in form for Guangzhou as well. Volendam have taken the lead again against FC Twente. What on earth's going on for Twente? Wow. Don't forget, they need to win. There's motivation for FC Twente today. Volendam, I've got the feeling are done. But that's interesting. Bodo Glimt, the Eliteserien, they've looked like they're straight out of the blocks after 22 minutes. They are the side to follow in the Norwegian Eliteserien. So if you want to have a tickle in the half-time market,
This market has been suspended.
by all means, hopefully that's a Ghent equaliser. 1 shot on 6 off and 7 corners, 54 dangerous attacks. Just the 1 shot on target, though, is a slight negative there. So Twente and Volendam, if you cross over here now, you can
This market has
investigate.
been suspended.
And we've got more suspended. I'm just going to catch up with my odds on favourites as well. Don't forget to ignore dead rubbers today. Good result for Lazio earlier on, but I was a little tempted to lay Lazio at 1-0, giving Empoli's desperate need for a win as well. Juventus playing already relegated Salernitana, and a bit of a derby-style match for Atalanta and Roma, both involved in European club competition midweek. So they might be a little jaded, as you saw with Dortmund yesterday. You might see with Bayern Munich a bit later on as well. This, we're going to star all of these. And they're already 2-2. Come on, Twente, give us a chance. So I think the main rule here is if Volendam score again, jump on and jump on quickly. That's why you're 106, because you're going to equalise quickly. So I've missed out 2 of those now for Volendam. I'm not going to miss out a 3rd. So we're going to catch the odds on favourites. Polly Elassi. And again, at this stage of the season, you must check motivation before you play. That looks like a dead rubber, doesn't it? Vitesse Arnhem are done. Atletico Madrid, plenty to play for. Champions League places still not concluded. Real Betis got to take 3 points against an already relegated Almeria with just, I think, the single win all season. We're going to have to check La Liga 2 when goals come in as well. Again, it's all about motivation. We've got to ignore dead rubbers. Hacken and Kalmar. It's a little early in the Allsvenskan. You saw me get caught yesterday with Sirius and AIK. Sirius failing to score in 4 of the last 5 matches. Suddenly scoring 3 or more goals, was it yesterday? Head scratcher. You're going to get caught out if you're playing early season leagues. So just be cautious with Sweden and Norway, Finland. The Irish Premier Division is looking a bit more readable. It's not the last day of the season in Turkey. I've checked that already. So even though it's kicking off at the same time, that's why I checked if it's the last match of the season. But there's still plenty to play for. We had the last day of the season in the Turkish One League yesterday. So let's just collect our odds on favourites because the market's already done the work for you.
Goal.
Your job is
FC Twente FC Volendam is 2-2.
Okay. Your job is just to confirm whether the market's got the odds right or not. So we work our way down alphabetical order. Any odds-ons will hoover up, as you can see, with Ghent and Leuven. So if this remains 0-1 for a bit, you always have the option to cash out when you've done insurance before. If it's not quite going your way, this is not quite the performance of a 1.4 favourite to me. Have a look at the live standings as well. I didn't look for motivation. Is there motivation for Ghent or not? Indeed, is there motivation for Leuven to take points off them? It looks as if we've split into the conference relegation championship and relegation groups. So Ghent and Leuven, well, we will see. I'm not sure how this all works out. It's all a bit of a mystery to me how they split the leagues up. Is the first in the league the champion? I don't know. It's a bit of a mystery. So we'll work our way down while it's a little quiet and the goals have gone a little quiet. Just catch up with our odds on favourites. Probably Croatia next. Well, 1.7 Zhejiang, so they are favourite today. They're putting in some good stats, 16 shots off target. So that could be one to lay the very, very late draw. HNL 1 League, Dinamo Zagreb, where Rijeka, I think, cocked it up yesterday against Varazdin in the title standings, which leaves Dinamo Zagreb looking as if they're going to grab the title. It was a must-win for Rijeka. We did get a goal back after they went 2-0 down, but a huge gap now of 7 points with a Dinamo Zagreb win yesterday, just crossing the line. So it could be season concluded. Hajduk Split. There is such a big gap between Hajduk Split and Rijeka, and Osijek and Hajduk Split, as you can see, season over. So just be very, very careful if they're playing today. Don't play dead rubbers. Lokomotiv Zagreb and Slaven Bulupu. Let's have a look at the standings for these two as well. Any motivating factor, such as avoiding relegation. Slaven Bulupu, well, they've only got the one team getting relegated, and that's Rudez. So it's the job done all the way through. Game in hand, 47 plus 3 is 50. That doesn't have an arrow. So I think Lokomotiv Zagreb would be the match to focus on here from a motivation point of view in the Croatian HNL 1 League. Fortuna League today, no odds on favourites there. We've got a two-tier Fortuna League. I missed the second lot. Slovan Liberec, odds on favourites. So we'll keep going down alphabetical order. If you do this whenever you're having a trading session, quite simply, it's a method of finding trading angles, isn't it? You're looking at the market's odds on favourites, like Randers, for example, and you're looking at Midland in the Championship group, Nordland against Silkeborg as well, and Kolding against Fredericia. So you can check those to see whether you want to take the draw on second half, that kind of thing. So we'll move our way down to the Championship playoffs, 0-0, nervy affair. This is, look at the odds as well, 2.15, 2.55. The market just hasn't got a clue. Ajax have opened the scoring in a must-win today to secure their Europa League spot. So they're doing the right thing. What you do with matches with need, hope that we're going to get a draw late on that we can take on, as we did on a couple of occasions yesterday. Ilves against Ekenas. I think Ekenas are newly promoted. That's why Ilves probably 1.55. But again, just be careful. It's a little early in the season. So just be cautious. The recent losses have been made pretty much in the Scandinavian leagues. So that's not a coincidence. Fortuna Sittard taking the lead against PSV. PSV only the one defeat all season. Can't be bothered. Bit like Leipzig really yesterday. Can they bust a gut to get a win? But we'll check the live standings with all of the scorelines as they come in, because even a goal for one team might affect the need for another team. So these live standings are just quite brilliant at the end of the season. And this Soccer24 is just a wonderful website for football trading. It's completely free. And look at all the benefits it gives you. It's wonderful. PSV, job done. You can go to the standings here and it will confirm with your arrows. PSV, Feyenoord, job done already. So there's no motivation for PSV. That's the only problem. Fortuna Sittard, mid-table mediocrity. Can't get to Sparta Rotterdam. Nothing to play for. This, obviously, PSV Eindhoven are by far the better side. So if you want to play a dead rubber, then you're going to have to see some really solid in-play stats. Look at St. Pauli. 3-0, 3-1, any other home score, that's what you expect at those kind of odds. Live standings, any motivation for the other teams today? St. Pauli, I think, are already promoted, so they've got a hell of a fan base as well. So that's going to be an excellent addition to the Bundesliga for St. Pauli. Holstein Kiel up as well. Brilliant performance from them. St. Pauli, Dusseldorf are in the Bundesliga. So they're going to play third bottom, I think, in the Bundesliga in the playoff. So that's been concluded. So Hamburg miss out again. Oh, ouch. These sides are too big to be cocking this up and staying in this league for too long, because you're not going to be able to get the quality of player into your team to get you out. And at the bottom, well, it's only Osnabrück are down. Hansa Rostock, Wien Wiesbaden, plenty to play for. But let's move to the live standings. Any of these sides involved. Wien Wiesbaden 0-1 down. Desperate need for points. Braunschweig, though, desperate need for points as well. So that's a relegation 6-pointer, isn't it? Take 3 away from that, and they're down to 35. Add 3 to that, they're up to 35. That's the importance of this relegation 6-pointer for Braunschweig. So keep an eye on Wien Wiesbaden's in-play stats. If this remains 1-0, even a draw, they'll take a point rather than losing 3. They won't lose 3, of course, but they won't gain. So they'd rather take the draw. So that will certainly catch the eye if this remains 1-1 late on. Got to do your Carol Vorderman maths at this stage of the season. Working out who needs what, how long's left. It's going to be a humdinger later on. Olympiacos getting through against Aston Villa with a quite exceptional managerial tactical display against old Dick Emery and Aston Villa. They might be a little jaded now, so this could be an opportunity for PAOK in a fierce derby match to do something. But this Al-Khairi, I think the centre forward, killed off on his own Aston Villa over the 2 legs. He might be stolen. Let's have a look for Ollie. They might be nicking him, one of these major sides, if he can continue scoring like this. El Kaabi, wonderful display in both legs against the Villains. Superb stuff. So that could be a bit of a damp squib, like Dortmund yesterday, getting tonked by Mainz. It's job done. And the players will psychologically as well be trying to retain fitness, make sure they don't get injured. So they might not be going into those 50-50 tackles like they usually will. They are desperate to get into the final, which will be in Athens. So it'll kind of be a home final for Olympiacos, even though they're in Piraeus, which is the port. Ajax, job done pretty much. That's what they need to do. Make sure that you stay in the league, in the Europa League place. Sorry. Make sure your nearest competition can't catch you. So we're probably going to head to Norway next. Bodo Glimt, odds on as usual. HamKam. We saw Mulder, I think, lose yesterday. So you've got to be very careful at this stage of the season. But this lot look very reliable. That said, Kristiansund did take a 2-0 lead against Strom Godset when not expected to. So they might have a say here today, Kristiansund. But we did play that one against Stroms, and we got away with it. This one here. The first goal was a penalty. And this lot were absolutely bossing the match. You can tell by the first half stats. So this is just an example to you of getting involved early season. Absolutely dominating, as you can see there. So a 0-2 lead for Kristiansund. Thankfully, Strom got us out of jail. So we might see, we would certainly welcome a lead for Kristiansund today. That's for sure. But just got to be very wary with these Scandinavian leagues so early on in the season. The market's arguably guessing on past reputation because there's very little form lines to work off. Arka Gdynia being the side to follow in the Polish First Division. I think they might be up next season. So they could be, again, we're going to do our whole cycle next season of focusing on newly promoted and newly relegated. You've got those excellent spreadsheets from Paul Dunwoody this season gone, which were extremely helpful. So I must thank Paul for his efforts there. I'll try to create some for you beginning of next season as well. La Liga 2, again, we'll keep an eye on the odds on favourites, but we do have to look at the standings, make sure there is motivation. Not like PSV, where they're just inserted as odds on favourite, even though they've got nothing to play for. So we've got to be very cautious. Hibs and Aberdeen, 1.95 for Hibs. Banker bet yesterday was Hearts, who dominated their match. I think we're coming to the end here. Tampine Rovers, this was a play earlier on, but I was looking at the head-to-heads. Alberic's Nagata, they had a 6-2 win against Tampine recently, so I was a little cautious. Didn't play that, but it was an obvious. In the end, it went with the market. I think that's us done. Turkey next, I suppose. Turkish Super League, full complement of matches. And of course, our friends in Sweden, are they playing today? They'll be a bit higher up in one of our featured leagues. Swiss Super League. Well, I did play the young boys last night, 0-1 down, but that's the beauty of taking out insurance. It ended 0-1. I got out break even. They were looking very dominant, but it was a top two clash. So that's about that. We're not going to be playing Uganda, but there's some really good names in Uganda. Black's Power, The Police, hello, hello, hello. Calvary, Boomer. And there's a Bodo goal already. So Christian Sunder not reading the script, not scoring first. Genoa scored first against Sassuolo. So now we've got all of these in the My Games list. We will be alerted whenever a goal has come in. So I've rather missed the boat with 20, but this is exactly what you expect of a 1.06 shot. You're expecting a 3-0, 3-1, any other home score. Santa Clara have opened up against Mafra. So let's just check that one out. This is the sound you'll hear when there's a goal coming in an odds-on favourite match. Santa Clara and Mafra, anything to play for these two? Well, Santa Clara, again, go to the standings here. Have they concluded their season? No, they haven't. Got a game in hand. So we need motivation, and they've got the lead. Mafra looking like they're in mid-table. It looks like a tough league to get out of as well. Only the 3 places at the top, but only the 3 places at the bottom. So Mafra look safe this season. Again, the final piece of the jigsaw. The only way I can find out the amount of matches left is either soccerstats.com or this league here. So do check out, make sure you know that you know how many matches are remaining this season. You've got to work out the dead rubbers from the sides with need. So we're going to Santa Clara and Mafra, which should be 0-1. Indeed. How many matches left? Just go to Segunda League. 2 matches left. So now we can go back. We can check this scoreline. Check the standings. 2 matches left. Obvious. Santa Clara will be going for glory in the remaining 2 matches. They go top today with a win. So huge motivation for them. Had Mafra scored first, then we'd have done all of our checks. There's Zhejiang Professional, if you did lay the draw there. And as I say, I give you all this information. I'm not necessarily going to do it myself. But if you're happy with the argument, 16 shots off target, for example, then lay that draw. Please don't be waiting blindly to parrot me. You're never going to learn, are you? If you take that lazy route. Do think in some of these matches, do I want to lay that draw? For me, it was a Chinese Super League. If we have problems with the guru today, I hope not. So Chinese Super League was my negative here. I don't know what's going on here. So I've got to back up, but it's not my ideal. And it's already 4-2 to Twente, so we should have really piled in before half time. It's 41 minutes and they're leading. So I hope we're not having an issue with the in-play guru today. Genoa's goal has been disallowed against Sassuolo. Still haven't heard anything from Ghent yet. That's why I like covering the draw. Would be nice. There, we're getting this back now. 1 shot on 9 off and 7 corners. So it looks like a good defensive display from OH Leuven. And AZ Alkmaar have the goal against Go Ahead Eagles. Again, we'll just check this out, see if it's a match or goal of importance and whether it affects any other side. That's what you do in the last day of the season. AZ. So Ajax are holding on with a 4-point gap now to Nijmegen. That will change, of course, if Nijmegen win. AZ Alkmaar battle with Twente, but Twente are winning for the Champions League spot. They couldn't catch them anyway if Twente are winning. So that's a dead rubber for AZ Alkmaar. So they didn't really need to do anything today unless Twente, again, 1.06 favourites, unexpectedly lose. Ghent, well, there's a Zhejiang professional, 23 shots off target. So if you had an in-play stats feed, you could have arguably laid the draw there based on the 23 shots off target. Okay, that's what you'd be looking at. But that's job done. It's just it's a secondary league for me. It's not a league I'm 100% confident with.
FC Twente FC Volendam is 4-2.
But we can get rid of that now already. Looks like 1.06 favourites have really done a good job. Volendam are putting in a good fist of it, aren't they? Coming to the end of the season. I hope you're all okay over at YouTube. I'll just make sure there's no problems with the sound and that in the comments. Hi, Stephen. Nice to see you. Dan James coming on for Leeds. So that match is done. Leeds 0-0 indeed. So disappointing for Norwich. You've got to make home advantage count, as Ghent should. They're running out of time. Now, I'll just show you how it looks. So that's the maximum loss you're going to be making when you do the drip laying. Look at the risk return, it's nearly 10-1. So it's a very good, I think, angle. Ghent and Leuven. So that's an odds-on favourite goal, so we can check that one out. So if I went to Ghent +1, which I preferred, oh, I must be on the, I hope I did Ghent +1 and not Leuven +1. 5-2 already. So that, there we go, that's the match odds. If you go +1, which I'll show you, this was my option with my own cash. So if you go +1, that £21 should mirror the profit here, or be as near as damn it. And this is an opportunity for you to get out with maybe a £1.80 loss, rather than
goal. Christiansund BK Bodo /Glimt is 1-1.
Right, we could have done with Christiansund scoring first there, not second. What we did last week, we did lay the draw last week in the Bodo Glimt match at 0-0. They did score the goal to make it 0-1. We might get this second half as well. Don't forget, Strom Godset got their 2 goals against Christiansund's second half when Christiansund put in a good performance. That might be a penalty, you never know. So just showing you about insurance. You cash out of this, £18.69. Cash out of this, make a £20 loss. So effectively it's a break even. They're not performing, are they? You don't want to be caught out with a 0-2 to Leuven. They might get a late penalty. It might be a late
BK Bodo
own goal.
/Glimt is 1-1.
So we've got to be very careful. Just going to check the Christiansund goal because they did score a goal via a penalty against Stroms. And if it's a penalty now, we might lay this draw second half. No, Guy. That's another Guy. Is that the brother of the Everton player? Because they've both been scoring plenty of goals of late. Santa Clara, as you can see, motivation, motivation, motivation. Look at this, already a 0-2 lead for them. That's what we need to be looking at, motivation at this stage of the season. We can get rid of Zhejiang. It would have been just to lay the draw, really, that one. But the negative element for me was the league. Check one league. Well, we'll keep an eye as the matches progress. It's all about, again, motivation. Look at Kolding against Fredericia, 5 shots on 8 off and 2 corners. Is that draw vulnerable? Indeed. Is it a match of importance? So we're going to head off, go to all, and head off to Kolding. Kolding. And Fredericia live standings promotion group. So let's have a look. Is there any need for motivation for the away side? So Fredericia and Kolding, I don't know how this works. Are we still going to be adding points once they've split promotion and relegation group? It's a, as Toya Wilcox would say, it's a mystery. Feyenoord of the opening goal against NEC Nijmegen. I think NEC Nijmegen need something today. So Kolding and Fredericia, again, it's like the Zhejiang professional match. If you're taken by this, then lay the draw second half. Okay. My only negative is I don't know. I can't read this splitting of the leagues. It's very difficult for me. But NEC and Feyenoord, we're going to have to check whether this is a match of motivation. It's not, is it? Because we've got that arrow next to Feyenoord for old Arnie Pie in the Sky slot. Let's have a look. Standings. NEC, though, I think do need something. So Feyenoord might be gettable. Well, this might be a last hurrah for Arnie. He'd like to get a win today before he heads off and cocks up Liverpool's season next season. No, I'm only joking. NEC Nijmegen on 50 points. Well, with Ajax winning, they would never have caught them anyway. They can't be caught. It's a dead rubber for both of these sides, isn't it? Because if you go here, you'll see that arrow next to Feyenoord's name, meaning they're qualified for the Champions League. NEC can't be caught. They could have caught Ajax had Ajax lost today, or even drew. They would have been there on positive goal difference. But as things stand, Ajax are highly unlikely to let a 2-goal lead slip. So that's a dead rubber. Play it if you want. Perhaps, but there's nothing to motivate these sides, so I don't understand any fixation on that match. So I'd leave that one alone. Kristiansund looking quite bright. This isn't the usual stats you see with Bodo Glimt. Tight, very tight match all the way through. Shots on target, shots off. Even Kristiansund bettering them and shots off. Similar corners, similar dangerous attacks. So this is the advantage of having an in-play stats feed. Don't make assumptions that just because it's Bodo Glimt that they're going to get the win. This looks like a very competitive affair for Kristiansund today. They'll be delighted with home advantage. So we keep an eye on Kolding. If you wanted to lay the draw, by all means do. Hope that the Kolding score first, because if they do, you're likely to see those odds rise markedly. We can get rid of Hacken. Well, odds on favourite pre-match, doing the business. But again, as I say, it's very early in the season. 1.53 Randers. I think we can ignore that for the time being. We're getting to that stage of the match now. You don't want a 0-2 for Leuven. We've had 76 dangerous attacks for Ghent. And if you get a 0-2 for Leuven, you're going to lose all of your money. So as I say, you have the opportunity to cash out if you've done the +1 market. If you've done match odds market, you're going to still face a bigger gap and you will make a loss. And you will make a net loss. So let's keep an eye. Let's have a look at the in-play stats as we move on. Looks like a good response for Bohemians against Jablonec. But again, let's just check the motivation factor here. Bohemians and Jablonec, 2.25 the favourites. Not strong pre-match odds. Have a look at the Jablonec goal. Was it a goal from open play? Corner? Own goal? Penalty? It looks like an okay goal. Now let's look at the live standings, see if there's any motivation for Bohemians, because they're putting in a good response to going a goal down. So is there a motivating factor there for us to take advantage of? Bohemians, well, again, we're split into a relegation group now, so they are, I don't know how this works. Are these sides already relegated, or are they still continuing their season, having split up Championship Conference playoffs? So this is a bit of a mystery for me. But they're goal down Bohemians to Jablonec. They look safe, don't they? But the Bohemians, well, 7-point gap. Well, we'll keep an eye on the in-play stats there anyway. Czech League is one of our secondary leagues. It's not going to take priority over, say, the Premier League or the Italian Serie A, etc. But interesting, as you can see there, 84 attacking pressure index. You've seen in the past when that gets to 100, let's get interested. So we'll keep an eye on that one because it's a good response and it's a tight match. They're dominating the dangerous attacks. But is there a motivating factor for Bohemians? So we'll just collect anything with the odds on, anything with good in-play stats. We just keep an eye. Good start from the Baggies. Again, must take home advantage. Southampton have been, as I've said earlier, the worst of the newly relegated sides. Leicester and Leeds and Saints. Saints have been the worst of the three. Or not the worst, but the most inconsistent. They've been losing against sides they shouldn't be losing to at the wrong part of the season as well. So we'll just clean this up a little bit. We're just waiting to hear that Ghent 1-1 rather than a 0-2. Coming to the death there. Just get rid of a few of these. Hoffenheim still have plenty to play for, but they're about as reliable as an Arthur Daly motor. So just be very wary with them. But they really should be eyeing the win today to help themselves with that European place. That's what we did yesterday. We took on sides with need. Bundesliga 2, Eintracht Braunschweig and Wien Wiesbaden. No surprises here. Let's have a look at the pre-match odds. Well, it's coming to an end anyway, so we can get rid of that. This is a Landesliga, totally illiquid. So we'll get rid of the Oberliga as well. Now, I can do this using their facility, but I've had some trouble with the connection, so I'm doing it manually. And it's no harm. We've not got any goals coming in. Genoa and Sassuolo. Let's have a break and have a look at that. Genoa did score first. Are they safe? First port of call. Let's just check the amount of matches left this season. So we're going off to Italian Serie A. Got to check the amount of matches left this season as it pertains to these two. So click on this. And we scroll down. And we're going to list only Serie A. Make sure we don't have any cup matches coming up. So it looks like there's 3 matches remaining. So that gives us something to work off. That's 9 possible points. Let's have a look at where these two are in the league. Genoa and Sassuolo, live standings. I think there's need for Sassuolo, isn't there? They got that vitally important win against Inter Milan, which is great for them, taking on a side who are already champions. So Sassuolo are here. Plenty for them to play for, that is for sure. A win today could take them out of the relegation zone and get Empoli involved. Empoli having lost already, they'll know that, Sassuolo. So this draw is layable as late as possible. Genoa, very little to motivate them this season with 3 matches remaining. 44 plus 9 is 53. Arguably, with Napoli, I think it was losing to Bologna yesterday. I wasn't tempted in there, thankfully, yesterday. I know Victor Osimhen had been in excellent form, and Napoli this season have got us a lot of late goals. But look where Bologna are. 3rd in the league. So not going to be doing that, taking on 3rd in the league. So Genoa, arguably, mathematically, with a win, take them to 47, 50, 53. But Napoli will have to conveniently lose all of their remaining matches. So the onus really is on Sassuolo against Genoa to get a result. Genoa did have a goal disallowed a little earlier on. So this is certainly one to keep an eye out on. There's Braunschweig and Wien Wiesbaden has already finished in the Bundesliga 2. Genoa coming to, not Genoa, Ghent coming to an end. Can they get that late equaliser? That would bring me 100% profit if they can. Look at Bohemians. Are you tempted in there? Look at the Baggies. Are they going to score first? It's very tough to trust or get an angle in because Saints will not want to concede. They want to keep the Baggies from scoring, but a very, very good start from the Baggies, as you can see there. Jablonek, Bohemians, sorry, 25 minutes in. The best way to play the Bohemians match, I would suggest, would be with a half-time focus. So you've got the 33 loss here. No panic, Mr. Mannering. It's covered by 33 profit here. That's the beauty of doing his insurance. Now, if we get a late Ghent equaliser, I'll make 100% gain. I'll lose £5.20 here. I'll make £20.40 here. So it'll be a net £15 profit, which I'm quite happy at those kind of stakes to take that £15 profit. But I don't want to be flirting with a 0-2. That's the only negative. And you'll see the difference now. If this remains 0-1, of course, you'll be okay in the match odds. But if we get a late Ghent equaliser now, when you're doing the match odds, you'll be losing £5.20 here. You'll be losing £9 here. So 9 and 5 is 14 quid loss, rather than a £15 profit had you just stuck with the +1. So that's something for you to think about. These are my two options personally. I prefer +1 all the way. But in certain matches, for example, Man City at this stage of the season, conceding first, you'll go match odds, won't you? Desperate need for points. Could be the same with perhaps Man United score today, but that's got a touch of Derby-style match about it, hasn't it? It could be a shock, but season-long form suggests Man United concede 3 goals against these big top 2 sides. So it's a fascinating end to the season. So let's hope this ends 0-1 at the very least. 11 shots off, 10 corners, 89 dangerous attacks, but a very good defensive display, keeping Ghent to just a 1 shot on target. Frederick and Colding, have you decided whether you want to lay the draw or not? 5 shots on, 10 off and 3 corners. Don't forget to check the timings, because this could all be first half blood and thunder. As you can see there, just the 1 shot on target. Second half coming to the 66th minute is not what we're after. 10 shots off, only 4 of them coming second half, and 3 corners, only 1 of them coming second half. So please, yes, it looks wonderful on paper, but the second half element leaves a lot to be desired. And when you've got the soccer scanner, for example, you can have a look at it. You can break your stats into 10, last 5 minutes, last 10 minutes, which could be very useful for you. So we bring up Colding, and you can see four dangerous attacks the last 5 minutes, no shots on target. The last 10 minutes, 6 dangerous attacks, no shots on target. So it's all looking good on paper, but it's very ineffective. So I haven't laid the draw yet. Might be one to lay the draw a bit later on if they start pumping up these 2 stats here. Oh, look. We've got a shot on target from Ghent. Late on. Can they break through? If they don't break through, I will break even. So I'm happy with that. As I say, I got the Atletico Bilbao last night.
This market has been suspended.
That's probably the end of the match. Yeah, I would suspect. Ends 0-1. That is the beauty of insurance. So if you've gone both routes, if you've gone match odds route, you're going to break even. You've got a £39 loss covered by a £39.20 profit. Okay? Break even. And you're involved till the 90th minute. But if you do go match odds and it's 0-1 and they get a late draw, you're going to lose 14 quid. Okay? So that is tempting for a 1.4 shot. So that worked out rather well. We've got a break even out of that, which I'll take all day long. Frederick and Calder, as you've already seen, if they start improving the 5 shots on and 10 off, then it's a possibility of getting involved. This looks like a very competitive affair. Christian Sund playing above their weight class today against a side Bodo Glimt who normally win. They got that loss recently. Who did that come against? Let's have a look. And the Hoff have scored first already. They are at the side to score goals before half-time. Not score goals, but have goals before half-time. That's a Norwegian Cup loss.
Hoffenheim is 0-1.
So that's the that's the scoreline we expect for the half. Simple as that. West Brom starting really brightly, but as you can see, no shots on target against the Saints. But they are looking the better side. Can they score that vital goal? So we can get rid of the half at the moment, unless they fancy cocking it up, as they usually do. So we'll break through. Randers and Hoverdovre, the Danish Super League. Again, it's split into all of these strange promotion, championship, conference league. So I don't know how to read the motivating factor for these sides. So I'm just going to leave that Desmond with you if you wanted to play it later on. Have a look at the... Is there plenty of second half goals? Well, no, there's only the one. But this is Randers have taken the lead. Hoverdovre has equalised. Randers have made it 2-1. Hoverdovre have equalised. So Randers will be ruining their leading twice. That could be a motivating factor to take that Desmond 2-2 on later on. We can get rid of the Amora Bieta match. They're playing a red-carded side and have taken the lead. So I don't think there's any motivating factor there. I'll just take it off my list on Football 24. I'm actually using the website now, and Sassuolo have the lead that they seek against Genoa. This is one of those matches you'll be laying that draw very late on, because desperate need for points for Sassuolo, as we've already looked at. How is this going to change the match? It's not an odds on, but it's a match of huge importance for Sassuolo. Look at how this has changed the complexion of the match. They're out of the relegation zone on goal difference. Or are they? Minus 28 to minus 26. So they shouldn't be out of the relegation, because Empoli have the better goal difference, don't they? Of +2 comparative. So I'm not sure if that's correct or not. But Sassuolo, vital importance to get that lead, given Empoli lost against Lazio earlier on. So again, the motivating factor is there. I wouldn't have laid the draw before half-time. I would certainly target the draw if there's a draw late on, because of that desperate need for points. Well done to Sassuolo. Let's catch up on some of these other matches. As you can see, it's very tight, as you'd expect in a match like this. So there's nothing really in the in-play stats for me to suggest to me that Sassuolo would have scored before half-time. Verona and Torino, I'm not sure there's much of a motivating factor for these two, but 14th in the league should be safe from harm. Torino are in 10th. I don't think they can get into Europe, and they've been struggling a little of late. Very solid defensive side, Torino. Likely a good side to back those 0-0s pre-match. Italian Serie A D, we're not going to be playing. Kosovo, Lebanon, Hagelman, Litauen. There's only one Hagelman, Litauen. Get rid of the Mighty Tigers, their Silver Strikers. Malaysia, no thank you, not today, when we've got better leagues. So Ajax, looks like job done. They've got the Europa League sorted. AZ had to win as well. NEC Nijmegen ideally would need to get something out of this, so I might just target that. But then arguably Arnie Slot, Arnie Pie in the sky, he will be looking to end his final career with a win. And it's 0-2 to the half already. That's exactly what you'd expect. Got to pick up points against this Darmstadt side, who have been a punching bag pretty much. Heerenveen and Vitesse. This is one of those you might be tempted in. Vitesse down, as you know, with that huge point deduction, killing their season. Heerenveen got nothing to play for apart from this being the last home match of the season. So those of you tempted in to a dead rubber might want to target a Heerenveen win. But I do warn you, if you lose money, then don't come crying to me, because it is a dead rubber. Norwegian second tier. So we've just really had the one trade so far, and that hasn't produced anything. It's just the way it is at this stage of the season. We had quite a few yesterday. As you can see, if Mafred scored first, would have been hugely motivated to get on Santa Clara, that's for sure. But we've just got to tread warily at this stage of the season. That's why I implore you to pay attention to the tennis as well in Rome. We might go to there and have a look. I'm starting to build up a kind of an idea about how I'd like to play tennis, keep my liability low. I've got a couple of ideas. I've got a simple trading angle, which is set betting and using the pre-match odds and the ATP rankings to make sure that you've got a potential 1-1 if your favoured player loses the first set. There we go. NEC Nijmegen have got the equaliser. Now, if this was 0-1 to Feyenoord later on, I would have done that. Let's have a look at the importance of that goal. I think NEC did. No, it's a dead rubber, isn't it? We've already looked into this, haven't we? NEC needed Ajax to draw only, and they'd have been in with a shot at Europa League football. I think this is a dead rubber while Ajax is still winning. Indeed, it is. 4-point gap. Get another win, and it'll be 2 points, so they can't catch them. They can't. Utrecht can take their league position, but they're not going to be taking their Conference League playoff place. So this
Goal.
is arguably a dead rubber.
NEC Feyenoord is 1-1.
So yeah, if the Ajax match was a draw, I would have been more interested in this match. So this is how fluid we have to be these last days of the season. We've got to react to goals as they come in. That's the only real way to play the final days of the season. Saints are starting to warm up nicely. Have they brought on Matt Lettis? Looks as if Guernsey's favourite. Have they brought him on? It's a very tight match, as you'd expect. But certainly West Brom deserved the credit for the opening start. But now Saints have come straight back into this. And it's identical stats now. So there's been a momentum shift here, as you can see. First 10 minutes straight out of the blocks for West Brom. But now Saints are coming back into this. Fascinating to see that sudden shift, that sudden change in favour of Southampton. Southampton really, it would be ideal for them to take a 0-1 lead into their home second leg. I think this is a two-legged affair. So a real swift change. And there's that Colding goal. So if you did lay the draw, well done. I was sitting on the fence here myself. But if you did lay the draw, well, you've just had that shot on target. Another shot off target, 3 corners. They were the side to get the draw.
Goal.
Now you'll see.
FC Fredericia Colding if is 0-1.
Now you'll see how the draw odds have changed from that 2.5, which we saw earlier on, gone up to 5.5. So it's your archetypal lay the draw or later back trade, isn't it? You're laying at low odds, you're backing at decent odds to get out. So if you played that, well done. If you took a risk on Danish First Division, based on the in-play stats, well done. So we can get rid of that now. I think this is a dead rubber, NEC and Feyenoord. I've got a red card for NEC Nijmegen. I just want to confirm that. Indeed, it's come up on Football 24 as a red card. So that gives old Arnie Pie in the Sky a chance to get a final win before he heads off to Liverpool. So we could see that second half, but again, it's not a must win. We don't know if he's playing a first 11, whether he's giving a few peripheral players a look out. I don't know. This is going to be a fascinating second half, and it's already beginning. Again, a bit of a momentum shift for Christian Sund, isn't it? 3 shots on 8 off 5 corners. But Bodo Glimt got that goal second half last match, that 1-0 win, which we played, laying the draw last match. That loss was in the cup to Lillestrøm. Obviously, it couldn't be bothered with the cup. And they got 2 wins prior to that. So I'd always favour Bodo Glimt when they're odds on. The market does call them right. So we'll just keep an eye on the odds. I would certainly get involved if Christian Sund scored the next goal. That would be very welcome indeed. We'll keep an eye on the draw odds. 3.75, still relatively high for me. Getafe have had a goal disallowed against Cadiz. So we'll just keep an eye on that match. Cadiz. Is there any motivating factor for these two? Cadiz are leading 1-0. I think they desperately need points. They're favourite today. Getafe just had a goal disallowed. So we'll just check that match out. Let's wait for this to come up. Live standings again, we'll just reveal Getafe got very little to motivate them. 9 points currently shy of Real Betis. And Cadiz desperate, clinging on to hope, but they've still got a 5-point gap if they hold on to the win today. Again, we just need to know the amount of matches remaining. So we'll head off relative to the teams. So keep uk.soccerway.com up at this stage of the season. Work our way down. Plenty to play for still. So I think a Cadiz win would be very welcome today. The last win was a 1-0. Getafe did beat Almeria, but my Sunday League side, with 7 of the players still in the pub, could beat Almeria. The loss against Atletico Bilbao, not a surprise for Getafe. Athletic are looking for Champions League football, I believe. So that draw yesterday against Osasuna, despite being a profitable one for me, because I played the +1 market and at the 1-2, could leave Athletic out of the places. So 4 matches remain. No great panic, but this is going to be a toughie against Sevilla. Las Palmas newly promoted and Almeria relegated. So Cadiz might have a decent chance of staying up, but they're not the best side in the world. We've got to keep an eye on Getafe's stats. So this is one of those matches I will put at the top here. So let's get the Getafe match. You can see 6 shots on 6 off 6 corners. Let's see, Damien stats, the Omen. No shots on target, so a really good defensive display for Getafe at the moment. But the disallowed goal for Cadiz at the moment, the disallowed goal for Getafe might give them some hope and might give Cadiz something to worry about second half. A 1-0 is a very tenuous scoreline, isn't it? Desmond Tutu, any late shots for the last one 6 minutes ago? Got plenty of goals coming in, but not in any matches of great importance. Plenty of shots off target for Hovedovre. Can they pull it off? Come back from behind twice. So this is what you want to see. A side leading twice, a side coming back twice. Scoring the second half goal, Hovedovre as well. So possibilities at Desmond ending, but 1.67 for me is a little high. I'd like to get in at the death. This is just coming second half. This is a more tighter than Bodo Glimt would like. You can see, we can have a look at their season. It's likely to be www for Bodo. So we get to soccer stats and have a look. Come on. Very slow. There we go. Now you could use Soccer 24, of course, but let's just, well, we've got it here. Norwegian Elite Serien. It's going to be one of our summer leagues, so please pay attention to the score lines. Okay, get to know who's in form, who's not, because this will pay for you over the summer months. Particularly Bodo Glimt. One season they scored 2 goals in every single match, I believe, and scored a goal before half time in every single match. That was an outstanding season for traders, that's for sure. Ka-ching, all the way to the bank. So as you can see, as I suggested, WWW all the way. Kristiansund, well, we played that. Penalty, opening goal, 0-2. And late goals, you'll note. 1-0 against Tromsø. It's a good defensive display at home, isn't it? They're not conceded that second goal at home. So that's something for Bodo Glimt to think about, particularly as they only got a 1-0 win against Stroms, with Kristiansund scoring 2 against Stroms. But away from home, a 1-3 win against Rosenborg, 2 second half goals. Against Lillestrøm, 4 second half goals. And against Bodo Glimt, against Fredrikstad, sorry, 2 second half goals. So this lot, we're going to have to be a bit wary. It looks like it's attack v defence, doesn't it? So who's going to win out Fascinating to find out. I'm not going to be laying the draw just yet, because as I keep repeating, it's very early in the season. West Ham and Saints look to have settled down now, and it looks very, very tough to call. Sparta Rotterdam are giving a good fist of it against Utrecht, but do they need to win? Similar story, Excelsior against Heracles. Let's just check motivating factors. We know Heracles are safe, so let's just check any needs here. This is probably updating the scorelines, as you can see with that 1-2 just coming in there. So let's just check this out. Down, down. Excelsior equal with Valvik. But as things remain, if Valvik can keep the draw on goal difference, I think, -16 to -22, they have the better goal difference. Valvik will stay up.
Goal.
So
Heerenveen Vitesse is 1-2.
So Vitesse Arnhem scoring against Heerenveen. Dead rubber. You'd have gone with Heerenveen there, wouldn't you, on the in-play stats? And we've got a goal for Feyenoord, taking advantage of the red card. I suppose you could have laid the draw there, but I'm staying disciplined. I would have laid the late draw, I think.
NEC Feyenoord is 1-2.
It's a dead rubber anyway for NEC, given the Ajax result. But plenty to play for Excelsior, or is there? They've got a huge gap of 6 points, 6 goals to make up. They're doing the win.
Goal.
They're getting the win that they need.
Heerenveen Vitesse is 1-2.
But it looks all fun out, doesn't it? PSV Eindhoven are still losing, but they don't need to win. So that looks like it's finished. You could have laid the draw here if you want to play dead rubbers. Okay, I'll leave that up to you completely. Very good argument, I suppose, to take on this draw, given it's old Arnie's last day of the season for Feyenoord. Elsewhere, a couple of 0-0s, very little interest with those. We know the only games of interest now will be at the bottom, and they look concluded. So I think we can say goodbye to the Eredivisie. I don't think there's anything really to play for, unless you fancy PSV trying to go the whole season with only the one defeat. That would be the only motivating factor. As you can see, I suppose, no, if Valvik lose, they'll be down to 28 points. So the onus is on Excelsior to keep that 1-0 lead, while it's 0-0 for Valvik. So the 0-0 for Valvik, I think there's still something for them to get. So we'll bring that match up. If they can get their win, they will guarantee themselves staying up. So, yeah, Valvik looks to be still a match of interest. It's not a must win because they've got the positive goal difference, but it's a must not lose. So where are RKC Valvik? Probably just under RKC. There they are. Playing PEC Zwolle, who've done a great job staying up after being promoted, along with Heracles. So plenty there for RKC. 3 shots on 9 off of 4 corners. If you want to look at that draw, and Excelsior, we'll keep an eye on that match as well, because that's going to play a vital role in determining RKC's motivation. If PEC Zwolle score, RKC will have to reply. So that's finely poised, that one. Heerenveen, as you can see, 3 shots on 12 off 5 corners, but dead rubber. Okay, dead rubber. They're done. 7 points in total. Cadiz and Getafe coming to the 85th minute. Desperately clinging on, Cadiz, to dear life. This will be a vital win with, 3 or 4 matches remaining in the Spanish Primera Liga. They can still get out of it, particularly given they're playing a newly promoted side in 2 newly promoted sides in the end of the season in Las Palmas and Almeria. So that arguably they could get 6 points there. So this is an absolutely vital win for them. But 85th and 79th minute shots on target. Maybe Cadiz might be vulnerable late on. We'll just keep an eye on Bodo Glimt. The draw odds are getting nice and low. Let's get to Getafe. Bit quiet on the trading front, but we're not going to trade just for the sake of it. You can trade those dead rubbers if you want, of course. I'll leave that up to you. And you'd have made a profit with Feyenoord there, wouldn't you? 1.12 might be a little tickle. Might want to have a little tickle of Cadiz in case the nerves catch them cold. Keep your liability low because it's not really a must-win for Getafe. But Cadiz are where they are because they're not reliable. They don't tend to score that second goal. So
Goal.
just a marginal.
Randers FC Hvidovre is 3-2.
Marginal. There's that Desmond Tutu coming in. Randers and Hvidovre.
Goal. Randers FC Hvidovre is 3-2.
I hope you played that. Lay the draw. Good. It was that again. If I'm not doing a live stream, I would have kept my eye on that one and the time, and I got involved at 1.25 and lower because it's a good story. Randers have led twice. Hvidovre have come back. So Hvidovre will be thinking we can get the win here. Randers will be thinking we've got to get back in front here. Come on, we led twice. That's the kind of Desmond you want to be targeting. So I really hope you laid the draw there. Again, as I repeat, don't wait for me to take action. I've got to facilitate this live stream and sometimes I'll miss out. So please listen to what I'm saying. And if you like what you're hearing, get stuck in as you would have profited there. So that's something I should have eyed to get at 1.25 and lower, particularly with that turning up late on. Good stuff from Randers. Hopefully you played that, Desmond. Excellent stuff. So I'm hoping Cadiz. Oh, it's Bertie Olix. Excuse my French. It's back to 2-2 again. Disallowed goal. Have we run out of time in the Randers match? Let's have a look. Well, given they've just crossed the line, well, you're not laying at 150. That's the problem with these liquid matches. I don't think it's 1.2 odds either. So wait for this to settle down. Do not take this. This is a backer taking the absolute bleep out of you. As you can tell, we'll look at the difference. So unlikely we'll be able to lay that draw there anyway. But this would be where I would target it. Anything under 1.1, keep the liability low. Given they've just had the goal, a ball in the back of the net. But it's too tight. It's too illiquid, isn't it? You're not going to be laying at 1.15. Those odds are not accurate. So that's a pity. I would have liked to have had a bit of a play there late on. But I don't know what the accurate odds are. That's wrong as well, I think. But it's starting, they're starting to tighten up now. So there might be, no, as you can see, it's gone from 1.17 all the way down to 1.12. So we might be a little more accurate now. But I'm going to get involved at 108. And just keep my liability low. Just see if we can nick a late win out of this one. There we go. So that's settling down a little bit. But I'm going to wait for 108. And if I get matched and there's a late goal, good stuff. Having the ball in the back of the net this late on suggests they're going for the win. 0-4 to the Hoff. That's exactly what we were expecting of the
This
Hoff
market
today.
has been suspended.
Desperate need for a win. That's likely the end of the match. There's the 2-2. What a pity. Oh no. RKC have conceded against Pek Zwolle. Ouch. Now this is a potential angle in, particularly if the goal is a penalty. And if that goal stands, it could be just a dangerous attack when you see the red dot. That is not what Zwolle fans, not what Volvic fans want.
Goal. RKC Pek Zwolle is 0-1.
Now, look how this has changed the complexion of the bottom half of the table. Excelsior will be absolutely delighted They're suddenly
This
out.
market has been suspended.
Suddenly out of the relegation zone. So I think this Valvik match, I think it's gettable based on the need for points. It's a dead rubber for Pek Zwolle. Have a look at the goal. Is it a penalty? Was it an own goal?
This market has been suspended.
This is sloppy from RKC. Really is. Kirsten. Oh, Kirsten Dunst getting the goal there. Sam Kirsten. So I'm going to have a play here, and it ends 2-2 for Randers. But I think, just based on the motivating factor for Valvik, they've got to get the win. They've got to. So even though you're playing a dodge pot, it's motivation against unmotivation. Maybe we'll lose, but it's got to be done. This is what we've been waiting for. So laying over 1.5 goals, going to be relatively high. Well, over 1.29. I thought it'd be even higher because it's fairly late in the match. It's the 63rd minute. So as ever, I'm going to lay over 1.5 goals personally. And if the +1 is reasonable enough, it should be at this stage of the match. It's very late.
This market has been suspended.
Oh, not got matched yet. There we go, a little bit, all of it matched. So laying under 1.5 goals. Now this might not come off because Valvik have not been in the best of form, as you can tell, because they're in the relegation zone. But +1 is at evens. So I'll take the hit because I would play this 10 times out of 10. If Pek Zwolle score a second, then so be it. 1.6, RKC Valvik must get something. So I'll have to write this one out because of the name. And Bodo Glimt have scored. Did you lay the draw second half? What a pity I didn't lay the draw early enough. But again, another good call. I'm not taking action on my calls, which is a pity. And they are ultra reliable. I was hoping Kristiansund would score first, but that's a Bodo Glimt leading again. If you played, well done. RKC Valvik v Pek Zwolle. Must win for RKC or they are relegated. So 0-1 down. I have personally
Goal.
laid over
Kristiansund
1.5
BK
goals
Bodo / Glimt is 1-2.
and backed RKC in the RKC +1 market.
This market has been
See the
suspended.
trade placed. Go to youtube.com/@ where's at football trading profits. Okay, good. See if we can get some more punters turning up. So you see my thought process here. Real thought process. Got to win. Got to win. Uh-oh. It's now 2-0 for Excelsior. They're having an excellent afternoon. But I think an RKC win will still see them survive. Let's just do the Carol Vorderman maths. So I'm making some great calls today. Only if you're taking action on them, of course, are you profiting. So again, yeah, a win for Valvik. Add 3 points to this. They're on 31. That's the kind of motivation I'm looking for. Excelsior doing exactly what they want to do. Get that 2-0 lead. So they've got the cushion. They've got that cushion. RKC, you're going to have to look for an improvement against Pek Zwolle. That's what you're looking after. Look, 11 shots off target, 4 shots on. It's desperate stakes. This is your season now, RKC. This is what we're after. Time is running out. Got to take action now, or you are heading off to the Eerste Divisie.
Goal. Excelsior Heracles is 2-0.
Well done to Excelsior. And isn't it a coincidence that the two newly promoted sides are fighting or involved in the relegation fight? I'll get rid of that, Excelsior. Don't need to follow that now. Vitesse and Heerenveen, up to you again if you wanted to play this one. Vitesse are down, but it's a dead rubber, okay? That's why you got that shock lead for Vitesse Arnhem when it looked all hands down as if Heerenveen were going to run away with it. And it's 6-2. Talking of running away with it, it's 6-2. And it's 3-0 to Excelsior. They are really going to town now. This is going to be even more of a motivator for RKC. There's still 20 minutes to go for RKC to get a result. They've got to win in the last match. 5-0 win against Heracles in the last match. Wow. 2-2 against Utrecht. They scored 2 goals against AZ Alkmaar. Scored 2 goals against Volendam. That's some pretty good stuff. You can tell that they're really fighting. But where's the goals today? We need to see an equaliser, and soon. And Sparta Rotterdam have the lead against Utrecht, but I think that is a dead rubber. We're just interested in Waalwijk and Excelsior at this moment in time. It's vital that Waalwijk get a goal back, and soon, because then they give themselves enough time to score that second goal. So Utrecht and Sparta Rotterdam is a fight over nothing, really. They're not going anywhere, and they're not going to be caught. So that's a dead rubber. Don't forget, dead rubbers, try to avoid. You can see that 1-0 lead for PSV. They're probably playing drunk, PSV. Simple as that. Why bust a gut? But they'd like to keep a good season end, i.e. only 1 defeat all season. That could be a motivator. We haven't checked their in-play stats, and it's not the PSV we know and love, is it? By any stretch of the imagination. Only 3 shots on target. 7 off 9 corners. I wouldn't be playing this personally myself. Even though it's very, very tempting. If you look at PSV's season, can they avoid? Can they go through the season with just the 1 defeat?
This market has been suspended.
And that defeat, coincidentally, came against NEC Nijmegen. And that's your answer.
Goal.
It's an equaliser for
Fortuna City
PSV.
PSV is 1-1.
I was just going to show you their season as an argument for you, potentially, if you fancied taking on Fortuna Sittard, because the golfing class is quite obvious. Let's see if we can get to the Dutch. So if you are playing
Goal.
dead rubbers, you are
Fortuna
cleaning up
City
today.
PSV is 1-1.
You've got Jurdy Shooten to thank you. I just want to show you their form. Only the 1 defeat coming against NEC Nijmegen all season. Probable motivating factor for PSV to come out of this with an exceptional season, as you can see. They got another match remaining, have they? Against RKC Waalwijk? I'm not sure.
Goal. Fortuna Sittard PSV is 1-1.
Fortuna Sittard and PSV, yeah. So you've got a possibility if you fancy a PSV win. But it's vital, I think, for RKC to do something today. Can they do it? Yes, this is looking good. 11 shots off target. But only the 4 shots on. Last one, nearly 10 minutes ago. So can they pull this one out of the fire? And it's 7-2 for Twente. I think we don't need to be alerted for Twente anymore. That's what you expect of a 1.06 shot. You don't expect them to concede 2 goals, though. But you could have played the half-time market there. And you've got that lead by half-time. Well done to Cadiz. Vital win for them. So let's go down. Bodo Glimt, job done. But I would have welcomed a Christian Sund to score. But if you laid the draw there, well done. I just want to make sure you're all okay here. And you can still hear me and see the screens, etc. Again, if you click on live, you'll be updated immediately to the most recent screen. 1-1 RKC can't cash out. Is it 1-1? I don't think it is. I haven't had the goal come up yet. It still remains 0-1, 73rd minute. I used to play football with Matt Lettice. Yeah, I was in the same side with him at Vale Rec. Brilliant player. He went to Marder Carteret School. I went to Elizabeth College. But played five-a-side with him and all that. Quite a handy player. 1-1 on Bet. Ashley, do not follow Betfair, please. Don't follow Betfair. That's why we've got Soccer 24. Okay. Betfair's completely wrong. You've got to use second tier or third party, sorry. Third party like Soccer 24, even livescore.com, flashscore.com. Betfair is rubbish. And it will get you in trouble if you follow Betfair. And they put a big disclaimer. That's how bad the service is. Very big disclaimer that if you lose money following their results service, then they are not to blame. So please, 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 Ashley, do not use Betfair for your results. That's where we've got Football 24. That's where we've got Flash Score, Soccer 24. Betfair have had this problem for years, and it's a disgrace really for a website that big to have such a poor service in that regard. Let's just clean up some of this. Well done to Bodo. I'm a bit gutted I didn't lay the draw there, but it's that early season, which is the lack of confidence in the early season. That's where the majority of my losses have come in the Scandinavian early leagues. It's a must-win for Atletico Madrid today. Must-win. Champions League spot is available to them. Or it's not guaranteed yet. Superettan, again, the season's a little bit too young. And a bit like Norway yesterday, the Norwegian second tier, that wasn't really covered on Betfair, which is a real pity. Then we've got a red card for Sandviktens against Helsingborg. That sounds like a new name, Sandviktens. Sound like a newly promoted side. So possibilities here if you wanted to lay the draw. The lay the draws today have been very profitable. So you can have a look at the Helsingborg Sandviktens match. Have a look at the lay the draw odds. Might be a lack of liquidity, so we'll just check on that position there. Helsingborg against Sandviktens. Sound like a newly promoted side. I don't recognise that name at all. The draw is still relatively high at 4.1. That's because the red card is in tow, and we're in the beginning of the second half. So if we get to about 3.2 or something like that, I would get involved. But if you want to get involved now, by all means do. You've got a motivated side. You've got them playing at home. You've got 10 men. We saw it yesterday with the Adanaspor. It worked very well for them. But this is a young league. It's an early league, the Swedish second tier. So just be a little wary there. So we're just waiting for Valvik. They've got 15 minutes left now to get something out of this match. Now, I just want to make sure I've got it right with the amount of matches left. NEC Nijmegen getting a draw. Again, this is a typical display, isn't it? A side who don't need to do anything. Feyenoord, NEC, a last home match of the season in front of home support. Is that going to be a goal? Oh, well, there you go. It's a 2-2. In a dead rubber, don't forget. It's a dead rubber. So I wonder if this is this the penultimate day of the season, or have I got it wrong? Or one match left? I think they might. This could be the end of the season. It was for the Eredivisie, Eerste yesterday, but still, RKC motivation is still there for them, even if this is the penultimate. Maybe I'm getting it mixed up. Yeah, 2 matches remaining. And if you're playing PSV away at PSV in your last match of the season, this becomes even more important. So, yeah, I was right. I think 1 match remaining after this one, I think. 2 match. Yeah, I got it right. 2 matches remaining. So I made the mistake myself. I thought it was the last day of the season, but it's not. I got it right in the research. 2 matches remain. But that doesn't mean that RKC can get away with this. They must get a result here today. Must. You're playing PSV away at PSV, and you need to get points for your last match of the season. Good luck with that. Excelsior are doing exactly what they need to do to get a result. We can get rid of this one now. I think it could be 2-2.
Goal.
Indeed, it is.
NEC Feyenoord is 2-2.
NEC nothing to play for, I believe. Certainly Feyenoord nothing to play for. So last match of the season for Feyenoord will be Arnie's last match. I thought it was today, and that would have been the motivating factor. But I got it right in the research. 2 matches remain. For NEC, 51 currently, 52, 53, 54. They still can't catch Ajax, even with the last match of the season, away at Almere. And the Hoff make it 5-0. That's what you expect against Darmstadt. So, with our newfound knowledge, there's 2 matches remaining, which I got correct, but I persuaded myself this was the last match of the season. So let's just do a bit of Carol Vorderman maths here now. Make sure we've got this sorted. Still, it remains down, can survive. But get a point out of this. You're equal on points with this lot, with a game in hand, with the point difference. So even a draw today for Valwick will take them out of the bottom 3. They are still in the relegation playoff place, so they still have another shot at safety. If they lose today, Heracles are safe as houses. Win today, take them to 31. Heracles will be in spot of bother coming into last match of the season. So we're looking, again, last match of the season. They can't be caught. Go ahead. So it's all a squabble over nothing, really, for this lot.
This market has been
Ajax
suspended.
are looking to keep that Europa League qualifier. Have we got that equaliser for RKC? Nope, we got that Helsingborg 2-1. So if you did lay the draw there,
Helsingborg Sandvikens if is 2-1.
I was waiting for 3.2 or thereabouts, but if you did lay the draw there, well done. So today's lesson.
Goal.
Don't follow
Helsingborg
me.
Sandvikens if is 2-1.
Follow my information because it's working. If you get involved straight away, well done. Oh, what's happened here? So, panic stations for a sec. So, while it remains 0-1, it's another set of shots off target. They've got to keep the lid on Pek Zwolle, who've had a 69th minute shot on target. Keep the lid on Pek Zwolle, and hopefully this pressure here will count. So Heerenveen and Vitesse, given there's 2 matches remaining, let's just make sure there's no motivating factor for Heerenveen. We're putting in a really good performance today. It could be that it might be the last match of the season. So let's just make sure, do the maths.
This market has been suspended.
Helsingborg Sandvikens if is 2-1.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, nothing to play for Heerenveen. They can't be caught, and they won't be heading in there. But a win today, of course, take them to 40, and then that'll be 43. But they've got a huge goal difference to suggest that even go ahead losing, Heerenveen can't catch them. So we're just waiting for RKC to see if they can get that draw, which will take them out of the bottom 3 today. Atletico Madrid kicking off soon. This looks like a banker, doesn't it? Must win for them. So if you did lay that draw there, Helsingborg, well done. The red card will have ensured. That's what I like about laying the draw in red carded matches. Look at the draw odds now, double figures. That's the factor of the goal and the red card. Brilliant stuff. It's got another goal in the odds-on favourite match. That's what we were waiting for. But they've done it twice now, Kristiansund. They've I wanted them to score first, not second. This is what they did against Stromgodset. Now this will open it up for a late lay of the draw in the Bodo Glimt match, because Bodo Glimt are one of your old reliables. Look at those odds, all the way up to 11.5. So if you wanted to lay the draw at 4.1, as it was, then well done. Got the liability a little bit too high for me there, but a profit is a profit. I'll get the Bodo Glimt up now, because we're going to be targeting that late draw as late as possible. Kristiansund performing very well today, as the in-play stats suggested, but they're scoring in the wrong position. They should be scoring first to give us a really good trading angle, because Bodo Glimt, I'd be relying on them pretty much in the league at least all the time. So we're coming to the death here. The only real match of interest for me will be that match with RKC, but they're not adding to their shots on target or shots off target with 10 minutes remaining. Another odds on favourite goal, and there's Final getting the win against NEC Nijmegen, taking advantage of the red card if you played that one. Dead rubber for Final though, so we'll end the interest in that one there. So next week is the final week, but these penultimate matches are vitally important because they position you for next week psychologically. That's why RKC must get that draw, because psychologically they'll be out of the bottom three. But as things stand, they are stuck there now. A draw on goal difference, they're out of the bottom three. So vitally important. That's why I've got that one targeted. So it's brewing up nicely for the last day of the season for the Dutch Eredivisie. Let's just check when the last day of the season is. So we stick it in our diary. Hopefully it should be on a Saturday or a Sunday, and they'll all be kicking off at the same time. It's going to be excellent. It's pretty much a squabble, isn't it, for the relegation places next week between two sides. I think there's nothing much else to be playing for. 19th, so that's a week from now, next Sunday. So I'll see you here next Sunday. It's going to be an excellent end, but very few matches of interest next Sunday in the Eredivisie, so we might have a quiet one.
Goal. NEC Feyenoord is 2-3.
Yeah, if you played these, up to you. They're dead rubbers. Yes, today you're making a profit, but on another day, relying on teams who don't need to win, it will send you off to the poorhouse. So do remember that. We'll be targeting the draw late on. Bodo Glimt and Kristiansund. I'll pass that on to telegrammers. I will be laying the draw late on. I hope for 1.25.
This market has been suspended.
Start laying the draw. So it's suspended market. Is that the goal yet? 89th minute now for Bodo Glimt. So keep an eye. The draw odds should be starting to get low. Oh, we've missed it. So I'm making some really good calls today, but I'm delaying too much. That's the Bodo Glimt win. Sorry. Bodo just scored. Oh no, it's heartache for Sassuolo. Do you know I've equalised to make it 1-1. That is a draw to late on. So Bodo Glimt, I've missed out on my profit. I was waiting patiently to see if I can make a profit there. So I really hope you're playing these today. I hope you're taking action. Excellent stuff. Really good calls today. Lots of profit coming in if you're taking action. And if you're playing dead rubbers, well done to you. Let's just tidy up some of these. Centruden and Mechelen, 2.2 the favourite. And there's just the equaliser there. So a bit of a mystic meg there for me. But no stats to suggest an equaliser. So I really hope you are taking action today and profiting, because you'll be amply rewarded. We've got a 0-2 lead for an underdog. 0-2 up. This is on or around half time, I would say, but it's 60 minutes now. You've only got half an hour for Slovan Liberec to do something. But if you fancied this one, the odds will be very short indeed. So if you look at the Slovan Liberec match, just check the odds out. It's only half an hour, so there's a bit of pressure on Slovan Liberec. 1.8 pre-match, 2-0 down. That's where you're going to get about 1.15, something like that.
Goal.
There we go.
Heerenveen Vitesse is 1-3.
So I would be, again, keep your liabilities to about a tenner if you can. Don't forget to back Slovan Liberec to get over 100 quid. That way you'll have money to work with if we get some greening up, especially if we get a 1-2 in the 70th minute. And you don't have to put too much to get to that £1. There we go. £8.20 liability. So this is one you might want to look at. So next Sunday is the last day of the season for the Eredivisie. Loads and loads of goals today. Lots of need for points. Get your league position sorted before the last day of the season, as you've just seen.
Goal.
Brilliantly.
Heerenveen Vitesse is 1-3.
From Excelsior. Fabulous stuff from them. RKC Valvik are running out of time at 0-1. This could be fatal for them. Absolutely fatal. 89th minute. There's still time, but Excelsior have done the job at 3-0. Brilliant stuff from them. So Slovan Liberec against Teplice. What you can do with these 0-2s to add some confidence is to just make sure Slovan Liberec, probably under Liberec. And it's a red card for Pek Zwolle late on. We have some hope. Now, if that's followed by a penalty, that would be excellent. Just check the goals for Teplice. If there's one of them's a penalty, if it's an own goal, then that could be a confidence booster for you to look for a potential reply from Liberec. No, goals from open play, so fair enough. They've got Old Horsky on, so let's see if Old Horsky can do the result. 4 shots to 3. Pek Zwolle red card late on. Can RKC take advantage? Is there a penalty? Is there a penalty to follow? I'm not sure. Or is it? It could be one of the managerial staff, so we have to check. If it's a player, oh, Burmeister for holding. A card of the red variety. He's been sent off, so there's no penalty or anything like that. Stop VAR before issuing the red card. Oh, come on. Be nice if that red card stuck. And Bodo Glimt confirmed the win against Kristiansund. So if you did lay the draw there, it was an obvious lay the draw, this one. I don't know why I delayed, because they've been such a brilliant side this season. Likely they're going to be one of the sides like PSV Eindhoven who could go the whole season unbeaten. Bodo Glimt. Just brilliant today. I really hope you took action. Let's hope that Valvik, we get some Fergie time as well, particularly with this gap in time to look out for the VAR for the Zwolle red card. So fingers crossed. It's not going to be affecting the odds at all because it's far too late in the match, alas. We've got the 0-1 covered. So I'll pass this Teplice one on. I'll just delay it a little bit longer so you get even lower odds. Look at this, drop down to 1.12 and up to 50. So the longer you wait for these 0-2s, you're going to get even better odds. Bodo Glimt I should have really profited from today. Come on. Trying to get the second. There we go. So let's have a quick look at Zwolle. It'll get to the Zwolle match easier. Here we go. The red card won't really have impacted on this at all unless we get significant extra time. Well, the draw odds have risen, as you can see there, so we are going to get a reasonable amount of extra time here. RKC, oh, we looks like it's a 1-1. I don't see the goal coming in yet. So I'm not sure what's going on here. I haven't had any confirmation of a goal. There it is now. Brilliant stuff.
Goal. RKC Pexwola is 1-1.
Lovely jubbly. And that should guarantee you a full profit because you've got the red card playing for you. Lovely. Look at that compared to that. I'm not going to cash out because we've got the red card in our favour. And we know that RKC, with a win today, could give themselves a real chance of getting out. They are outside the bottom three now with this draw. Now they've got a red card inside, they can sniff, they can smell blood. So I don't want to throw away £6. I'm going to play the red card factor. Really, with a red card, this should be 101 or thereabouts. So that's a fantastic profit there. I'm delighted with that. And this is how you play penultimate matches of the season. You're looking for huge motivation, helped largely by that red. Who's going on my Christmas card list? And Sassuolo could be doomed. Genoa have made it 2-1. But there's still plenty of matches left in Italian Serie A. But this could have been a vital win. They had to hold on to the 0-1 today. Margaret. Hello, Margaret. Well done, Margaret. Oh, Maggie turning up. Hello, Maggie. All right, Maggie. Nice one, Margaret. There's only one Margaret. It's my mum's name. Brilliant stuff from Margaret. The mighty Margaret. Job done for Maggie. Fantastic stuff. Handbags at 6 paces for Margaret. Can Margaret get that second goal? I will be buying Margaret a nice handbag set for Christmas if Margaret can get me that second goal. So I want to eke out all of this profit, but I might be tempted to cash out now because you can't make assumptions. So I'll take that. I want that £39.20 back in my bank. Brilliant stuff. Well done, RKC Velvet. Well done, Margaret, the mighty Margaret. Not as funny as old Jizz Hornkamp from Heracles, of course. That's the top quality footballing name. Old Jizz, was he playing today? The mighty Jizz. He's probably come all over the pitch. The mighty Hornkamp. Where is he? Jizz-tastic. Looks like Jizz is having a rest. Jizz Hornkamp. Not there at all. He must have been cancelled for Heracles. Or he's moved on. Probably gone for a porn career now, old Jizz Hornkamp. But well done to Velvet. Fantastic performance from them. Now look at what this has done for them. It's got them out of the bottom three. Psychologically important to enter the final day of the season outside the relegation places. Brilliant stuff. Well done for Valvik. And a nice profit as well. We've got nearly evens there, minus, of course, your insurance premium. They've got a positive goal difference as well, despite Heracles Excelsior scoring for one. That's no coincidence at all. They would have been eyeing as many goals as possible to get this gap between them and Valvik significantly lower. Can you imagine if they only won 1-0 Excelsior? The gap would be a lot bigger. Brilliant performance. They're outside now. They're outside the bottom three. They know what they have to do. It's a battle. It's a shootout next week between Valvik and Excelsior. The winner takes it all next week. It's as simple as that. Quite simply, Valvik just have to mirror what Excelsior do next week and make sure that Excelsior don't get another 4 goals next week. So you might want to be eyeing the possibility of an over 2.5 goal match in an Excelsior match next week. But who are they playing? Oh no, they've got Feyenoord. They're away at Feyenoord. Oh no. Last home match of the season for old Arnie Slot. Valvik. Oh no, they're away at PSV Eindhoven. So the goal difference could play a vital importance, particularly if those two turn up in a fighting mood. Last home match of the season. Oh dear. So you can't call this relegation, can you? That's why a win now for Valvik could be vitally important. So let's have a look at the draw odds. Can we lay the draw late on? I will be laying the draw late on. This win could be significant because realistically, even though PSV in final, nothing to play for, it would be important, I think, for RKC to get the win. So I'll go in at 107. I'll sacrifice some of my profit, and let's see if we can pull off the win. It's vitally important. They're playing some big boys away. Last home match of the season. The fans aren't going to let PSV and Feyenoord off the hook. There's my 107. It's in there now. And it's just getting bitten. Luckily, the clock is not Valvik's friend, but the red card is their friend. Can they make it? Can they make this 2-1 and they go into the last day of the season? I suppose they're both expecting defeats, so that's why the goal difference is vital. And a 2-1 here would add another 2 points to Valvik, take them up to 31. So that could be absolutely vital for them to get a result. What matches we've got upcoming? Well, we're 17 minutes into Atletico Madrid. Celta Vigo, it's a must-win for Atleti today. Normally, they wouldn't cock this one up. Champions League football is not assured for them just yet. We had a tough, after the live stream yesterday, it was very tough. There's a lot of matches with very little to play for, but 4:30 we've got Man United against Arsenal. You'd have to be favouring Arsenal here, given Man U's woeful performances against the top two this season, conceding 3 goals in each of those matches. Elsewhere, I think we're nearing the end of the season in the Turkish Super League. They're all kicking off at the same time. Valencia against Rayo Vallecano. You're unlikely to see anything from Rayo. Benfica, midnight my time, against Arouca. Olympique Marseille at home, normally reliable, but we'll have to check out need. Paris Saint-Germain are at home to Toulouse, coming off the back of Champions League football. Disappointment.
This market has been
That's probably
suspended.
the end of the match. Porto against Boavista. So it doesn't really look like a hot coupon after this live stream is over. Juve against Salernitana. Bayern Munich, dead rubber. So I don't know if you'll be hearing much from me this evening. I do have to tread warily, as you can see in this live stream, with dead rubbers versus matches of great importance. We picked this one out beautifully. Well done to Margaret. But they needed the win because they're playing some big guns next week away from home. And Helsingborg have cocked it up. This is what I'm saying about early season. So I'm going to say goodbye probably at about 4 o'clock because we're running out of matches of interest now. Let's have a look at who's live at the moment. So this is done. Still a little bit for Sassuolo to play for, but we're unlikely to be getting much change out of them. I'm just going to check my Betfair balance in case the bots have blown my bank. I don't think they have. They've been very, very good. And I'm only playing the 10p stakes at just in the testing phase. So I'm just going to make sure I'm all okay. Yeah, the bank's looking okay. So just take you through the matches. We're in the 58th minute. West Brom and Southampton still at 0-0. All to play for. I can't call this one at all. I can't even call the draw. I can't even call the lather draw here because it could arguably be a 0-0 like the previous match. Okay. Man United women against Tottenham in the Women's FA Cup. Likely there'll be liquidity issues here, and for me, I'm afraid goalkeeping issues in a ladies' game. I'm just not going to be trading the ladies' football. I am sorry. Probably going to be cancelled now. I'm not touching the ladies' football at all. But you might want to play it. It's on Betfair, and it is in play. If you're watching it, I don't know who the pre-match favourite is, but it's 1-0 at half-time. Man United ladies 1.28 against Tottenham ladies. Managed by Angela Postecoglou. Atletico Madrid, Celta Vigo, after 20 minutes, still remains. We've got a lot of odds on goals coming in. No, we haven't. No, because it's not my. That's what we're after, the my. So I'll just take you through the matches which are on my Betfair mobile. Verona have the lead against Torino, 1.22 favourites in the 76th minute. Genoa and Sassuolo might have some legs to it, so we'll bring that match up because of the need for Sassuolo is great. So let's get that one up. Just keep an eye on Sassuolo's stats. They're not renowned for their goals though. 3 shots on, 6 off and 6 corners. You can see a very low shots on target count coming to the 72nd minute. But desperate need for points. Portuguese Primeira Liga, Gil Vicente odds on today. 4 minutes in, 1.72 favourite. Real Zaragoza against Oviedo, 20 minutes in. Again, if there's a goal in that match, what I'll do, I'll look at the live standings to see if there's any motivation. Plenty of motivation for Atletico Madrid. As you can see, they're absolutely dominating. Celta Vigo today. Must win. Champions League football beckons. Hibs against Aberdeen. Well, Aberdeen is 2.06 favourite, leading 0-1. That suggests that Hibs would have been odds-on favourite pre-match. So we'll just check on that one. And well, evens pre-match, so that could still have some legs to it. 2 shots on, 7 off and 6 corners for Hibs against Aberdeen. Tunisia, Malaysia. We're not going to be interested in any of those. Czech 1 leg. Not really interested in that. Portuguese Secunda. Well, Santa Clara, I was desperately interested in that, but we didn't get a trading angle there, really. Superettan, you've got the possibility of the Helsingborg-Sandvikens match, lay the draw ending, but can you trust the Superettan? It's a 11 against 10, and the 11 men have conceded, which is awful. Just going through all of the other footy on the Betfair in-play coupon. Brøndby are a 1.65 favourite. Well, it looks in a liquid market, 1.65, 1.6 and 1.05. Copenhagen equaliser, that's probably why that's changed the market. That would have been one to target as well. Copenhagen, very reliable in the Danish Super League. So I'm just going through, get to the end of the matches, where we're heading to the peripheral leagues now. The Allsvenskan. Djurgården is kicked off. Odds on favourite today against Elfsborg. Värnamo and Bromma looks a very tough match to unpack, as does St. Gallen against Servette in the Swiss Super League. So that's what it looks like on the coupon. And it's Atletico Madrid, which really absolutely stands out for me. I would suggest that they've got to get a result today. So that's it at the moment. I'll stay around until about 4 o'clock. We've got some odds on goals coming in. Oh, 0-2 to Aberdeen. So that was one to possibly look at, but now probably not. Evans favourite Hibs pre-match.
Hibernian Aberdeen is 0-2.
Evans pre-match Hibs. So we will see. So it's at some point I would be looking to take that draw on in the Atletico Madrid match because of the desperate need for Champions League football for Atleti today. They've got to confirm their Champions League spot. They can't win the title, of course. So we'll keep an eye on that one. So just get back to Football 24.
This market has been suspended.
So we've got a suspended market in one of our matches of interest. So I'll just get Football 24 back up. Make sure I'm not missing the goals as they come in. And there's a goal back for Slovan Liberec. That's another one of your 0-2s. But that's come a little bit too late, 82nd minute. So that's highly unlikely to have affected the market. Let's have a look. Let's just have a look at the Slovan. So you'll have to just wait, I'm afraid. Highly unlikely to affect the market because it's such a late goal, 82nd minute, but there's still plenty of time. Now they've got the head in front. Well, they've got a goal. They've got extra time and eight more minutes to make it 2-2, and then you can come out of this with a nice £23 green.
Slovan Liberec FK Teplice
Just
is
wait for the
1-2.
market to reform. Unlikely there's going to be a profit unless you could take that 24p. We could have really done with the goal coming 70th minute or thereabouts to give the market an idea that they can pull it off. So let's just catch up with this lot. 3 shots on target only, all coming in the first half for Sassuolo. That pretty much sums up their season, doesn't it? Struggle, struggle, struggle. 2 shots off target only. 6 corners, 1 of them only second half. So they're not really turned up second half, Sassuolo. And that could be the reason they're highly unlikely to be relegated. We're waiting for that second goal for Slovan Liberec. They have turned up. 5-3-5. Can they get that second goal, make it 2-2 with a nice break-even profit? Not break-even, 23 quid profit on the draw. Bohemians, I think I'll get rid of this one. West Brom and Saints still 0-0. You saw the earlier Leeds and Norwich 0-0. That's typical, particularly when the Premier League is the prize. Unlike English League One, English League Two, and English League One, English League Two, absolute goal fests throughout. Suddenly, it's all nervy. We don't want to concede the first goal. Let's stay ultra defensive. Let's try to get them on the break. Look at it. It's stalemate, like the earlier match. So I won't be laying any draw in this one, but there has been a shift, and you can see it's a very tight match indeed. Look at all of these stats. Pretty much equal, and pretty much equal with the dangerous attack stats as well. So fascinating match, but I can't pick a winner at all. Still hope you're okay on YouTube. Got about another 15 minutes to go. Be waiting for Atletico Madrid to do something. They've got to take advantage of the home match. Liberec have scored indeed. Brummer have scored, says Ashley. RKC got on that. Well done. Well done, Kevin, if you got the 1-1. And again, just to remember what Ashley's point about the Betfair thing is. Do not use Betfair for your results service, okay? This is why we have Soccer24, etc. And these other third-party feeds. Atletico Madrid warming up nicely. They should be playing a first 11. They're not involved in Europe or anything else. They've got to be playing to win. Let's have a look at Madrid's place. This is what I'm talking about. Let's get there again. It's backwards. Come on. Atletico Madrid. Have a look at the live standings and you'll see what I mean. Again, we just got to confirm the amount of matches left this season for Atletico Madrid to confirm Champions League football. I don't think they are confirmed yet. So let's have a look at this one. Scroll down and you'll see the amount of matches left. 4 matches left this season. So we go back here, have a look at the live standings. Atletico Bilbao, well, Atletico Madrid will welcome that draw yesterday for Bilbao. That's 2 points fewer for Atletico Bilbao. And it could have been even worse for them had they not got that very late equaliser. So Atletico Madrid are not confirmed Champions League football yet. If you go to the standings here, you'll see who is confirmed Champions League football by those arrows. Real Madrid, Girona and Barcelona, all confirmed in the Champions League. This is, I think, an offshoot of Manchester City. So now you know why they're in Champions League football, or out of absolutely nowhere. They're an affiliate of Manchester City. So it's business required for Atletico Madrid. And Celta Vigo are 5 points above the relegation zone, so the season's not done for them yet. So we've got 4 matches remain, was it? So plenty of points, 12 points on the table. Celta Vigo can still be involved, especially with Cadiz winning today as well against Getafe earlier on. But it looks as if Atletico Madrid are dominating early doors here. They should be expected to get those 3 points which will help them in their Champions League journey. It's a battle for the last place, I think, between them and Atletico Bilbao. Anybody else can catch them? Well, we just add 12 points or thereabouts. Real Sociedad 54. Can't catch them. So this is a squabble between Atletico Bilbao and Atletico Madrid for the Champions League spot. They're too important now these days, Champions League spots, for a side as big as Atletico Madrid not to be playing in the Europa League. So the motivation is absolutely huge. Even though we've got a few matches remaining this season, it's vital that they get the win today. Got to increase that gap. 6 point gap is 2 wins. Get another 3 points today. That's another 2 points onto this. That's 70-point barrier. One of only 4 sides to have reached that this season. 70-point barrier. That's a nice 8-point gap. That's 2 wins and 2 draws. So it's vitally important that they get the win today. So you'll be laying any late draw here. You'll be laying any Celta Vigo lead here. That's for sure today. Sassuolo are not showing anything, at least from a shots on target perspective, to suggest that they can get a vital draw out of this to compound that win, unexpected win against Inter Milan. Waiting for Slovan Liberec to potentially get that 2-2, which would be an excellent recovery for us. So do remember that 0-2 is part of the strategies, particularly on or around half-time. That was a bit loud. Gil Vicente against Forense. They've got the lead there. I'll just turn the volume down. That's odds-on favourite Gil Vicente there. So we'll have a look at some of the peripheral matches and also tidy up the in-play stats feed. Getting rid of matches we're not necessarily going to be trading because of liquidity issues like the Czech Republic 4 and 5 league. Brøndby Copenhagen 2.25 the favourite, suggests this is a bit of a derby style match. So my interest is waned a little bit there. Hellas Verona against Torino is a 2-2. We'll check this for motivation. Hellas Verona and Torino in the 90th minute. 2-2 for Hellas Verona. Is there a motivating factor for these two? Let's have a look. How many matches remaining? 2 matches remaining after this one. So 3 matches in all. 2 matches remain after this one. So let's see if there's any great importance here for Torino or Gil Vicente. Oh, sorry, not Gil Vicente, Hellas Verona. So that is a 2-2. So we wait for the live standings to show that second goal. Taking a while to show up. Oh, it's been disallowed. That's probably why. Okay. They're a bit too near the relegation zone, Verona. So, yes, that would have been important, and I would have laid that draw as well, because another 2 points for them just broadens the gap. That's 4-point gap at the moment. Torino still have an outside chance, not an outside chance at all. They're only 1 point shy of Napoli, who lost earlier on against Bologna for the Europa Conference League, which would be excellent for a side like Torino. Be a stepping stone. They're not going to be going into the Europa League, realistically, even though mathematically, if they win the remaining 2 matches, no, 2 matches after this, that's the next 56. So it's their only point is the Europa Conference League. So they must keep winning, Torino. And on a similar vein, Verona must keep getting a result. So that is a pity at this stage of the season. A point would have been excellent for them. In-play stats. Is there any late attacking pressure from Hellas Verona? 5 shots on, 6 off, and 4 corners. Well, it's pretty lukewarm attacking pressure index there. 87th minute, 73rd minute, and 86th minute. So some late pressure for Hellas Verona. As you know, desperate need for points. Even 14th looks safe, doesn't it? But it's not. So you have to check the points rather than the league positions. Had the likes of Werder Bremen, didn't you? They could go into Europe, or they could still get relegated. Amazing. Right in the smack bang middle of the league, they have the carrot and the stick. Huge motivation. So I'll just get rid of some of these matches. I'll say goodbye to you at 4 o'clock. You can enjoy Man United getting battered by Arsenal a bit later on, if seasonal form is anything to go by. On 3 occasions against the top 2 this season, they've conceded at least 3 goals, I believe, from the top of my head without checking soccer stats. They do look very vulnerable against the elites. And they're all over the shop. They're absolute shambles, Man United. Absolute shambles. I don't know why they can't get a good manager in there to sort them out. They've made all sorts of bad decisions. Ralf Rangnick and all that lot. Just bad decision making throughout. Bad choice of players to bring in as well. I wonder if they can bring back Eric Djemba. That would be brilliant. Get him back in the squad. Midfield general, Eric Djemba. Fantastic stuff. Just clean this one up a little bit. St. Gallen and Servette, 2.3 the favourite, is a little bit lukewarm, but was there a favourite? Look at Djurgården. This is why we keep our eye on the in-play stats, particularly in the Allsvenskan, one of my so-called early leagues or young leagues, where in-play stats
market has been suspended.
Suspended market. We've got the rest of the Norwegian elite Serien kicking off at 4 o'clock, I would suggest. So I'll keep an eye on that for you, but outside the bounds of the live stream. But Verona Torino, we have enough time to lay Torino. That's the kind of stats you're looking at. Lighting up the attacking pressure index very, very late. Plus, you know they've got motivating factor. Add all of that together. It's worth a little tickle, isn't it? I like when the attacking pressure index is lit up late on for a side with motivation. So just get involved. Cost you £2.80 to win 46 quid if we get that equaliser, which they've just shown they have the capability of, but the clock, of course, is Torino's friend here today. But it's got to be done. And looks like Sassuolo are going to suffer possibly a terminal defeat. Very disappointing for them.
This market has been suspended.
That's probably the end of the match, alas. But it's well worth doing. Once you see that attacking pressure index lit up, it's well worth doing. It's going to cost you very little, but your upside is huge. So this is probably a good opportunity for me to say goodnight to you. Look out for Djurgården playing Elfsborg. Just have a look at some of Elfsborg's recent form. Win against Malmo, which is a real bonus. Don't forget, last season, this was another loser, you see, early season. But I shouldn't have played that one last week, because those were the only two sides who got over 60 points in the Allsvenskan last season. So the Elf should be very reliable, or should start warming up and could be competitive, top 4, top 5. But Djurgården have certainly come out of the blocks here today. Possibility of a goal before half-time if you want to play the half-time markets for Djurgården. But I wouldn't be dismissive of RKC, not RKC, I'm getting mixed up. Wouldn't be dismissive of Elfsborg at all, given that win against Malmo. And they have had the edge over Malmo in head-to-heads, to be perfectly honest. So if you want to play the half-time markets, again, keep your liability low, as this is one of our young leagues. So this is a possibility, would be to Dutch back in the half-time score market. 1-0 is a very juicy 4.6. We're making an assumption here that there'll only be one goal scorer before half-time. Okay, just based on the in-play stats. But the Elf, as you can see, with that win against Malmo, they do have some potential to them. But it's an excellent start. So even 160, why not? Why not indeed? 160, load it up. Merry Christmas. If we get a sudden goal spurt from Djurgården, 2-0 at 30s. Pile in. And 4.6 is perfectly reasonable as well. So you can get a decent enough return for under a tenner here in the half-time score market. Again, please be wary. It is an early league. And please be careful that Elfsborg upset the odds last week as well. Malmo gone unbeaten until they met Elfsborg last week. But that would be the kind of play I would do in a Djurgården match. I'm going to say goodnight to you now. Thanks very much for coming along, and I really do hope that you played the Dead Rubbers and everything else. So thank you very much for coming along. It's great to see a few more of you today. I'll see you on Telegram, but please don't expect an avalanche of trades. It's just that part of the season. We've got elite leagues coming to an end, and we've got the summer leagues just beginning, and there's a real dearth of form lines. So thanks very much for coming. I will say goodnight to you now.